kind of like thought out that I can be a nice contribution for you guys and to hand over my session of astrology, which nowadays in the last year or so has turned into flat Earth astrology session. And this session I kind of like giving for the last 15 years or so with all kinds of like forums that I managed. The thing is that I think that throughout all the time that I've been involved with astrology, I kind of like felt that I'm concentrating mainly on the aspects of how to interpret the different signs, the connection between the signs, all kinds of like human-related things within astrology, and I was kind of like avoided pretty much from the whole technical aspect of it. And when I'm talking about the technical aspect of it, I'm meaning about the way that astrology actually presents itself, that and the formation between like stars and the angles kind of like create all kinds of like rays of energy that they transmit over to you, to little you over here in Earth, and kind of like affect your, I guess, day or events that are happening to you, and I don't know, your whatever. With that concept, I found it very difficult to to understand this concept, because I didn't understand how technically is it possible, okay, that all kinds of like rays will be sent from galaxies light years away or whatever, until like the day I discovered the flat Earth. And the thing is that I kind of like realized, oh, just a second, I need to relook astrology again and think it over. And because the stars that are telling me that they are so far away, they're actually very close by. And they are not really like stars, they're like lights or something like that. And I need to like research it that in that aspect, okay, to see how like the astrology is more correct within the flat Earth realm. And what I figured out that it makes a lot more sense, okay, that if there are like all kinds of like lights in the sky that are inside this firmament, and it's revolving around our Earth. And this thing is kind of like interacting with us, because we can see that those groups of stars are kind of like communicating with signs which are all here on Earth, like the Aries or the Leo or all kinds of other things which are like over here, signs which are on Earth. So it kind of like communicates with us. We are inputting all kinds of like energy into this machine that we got in the sky, and we are getting its outputs. So it all big thing works out like a machine, and it's all very, very local. Okay, so this is like the understanding that I got from dealing with flat Earth and astrology together. Now the thing is, let me see what else we're going to talk about. I think that astrology is kind of like a good reflection of reality. We got tons of reflections of reality, like the media, religion, religion, and astrology, I think first of all, it's a very ancient one. It's a very ancient reflection of reality. And I think that the other thing that it's got common with flat Earth as well is the actual, way of thinking or way of studying it. The way I studied about astrology was by not reading almost any book about astrology. Okay, I did the research about astrology with observing people. Okay, with observing how people act, by finding out their astrological sign, by find out what kind of like elements kind of like compile their figure, and I kind of like saw other people who have the same sign, and so I tried to do like comparisons, okay, and to see like what they got in common. And with that being said, with that being done, I kind of like created this understanding of all signs, what they are like, things that they inquire. Now, the thing is that also both in flat Earth and both in astrology, it's not like a religion or some kind of like a Bible that you have like a leader that that spreads out these things. anyone can speak about astrology, and everyone has even his own comprehension about the astrology. It's like Rich once told me. I asked him, so Rich, what is the shape of the Earth? So he told me, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, down below. He told me the shape of the Earth is what I'm thinking the shape of the Earth is. Am I right, Rich?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
can hear you.
Okay. So anyway, the same thing goes.
It's probably truer if you're expressing it in those terms. A shape is true if you're trying to ascribe a geometric shape to something. If actually you don't know whether it's a infinite plane or whatever things we've yet to find out, it's probably better to say the nature.
Yeah.
Out Oakley.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Adam. I think that the flat Earth is a much more like concept and a much more spiritual, social, and human concept than the geographical one. Okay, when I say that I believe in flat Earth, I'm not relating to the geographical side of it. I'm relating to the fact that we are all equal under God, and we all need to use our senses as the reflection of what God is trying to tell us. And I think that this is definition of flat Earth, spiritually, socially, and human-like.
You mean level? You
Level.
mean level, really,
Yeah.
don't it? Rather than flat, it's just level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can agree with level. But yeah, I call it flat because this is the way I see it. Okay, everyone, it's like flat. There's no pyramids. Okay, no pyramids anywhere around. So this is what I think of when I say flat Earth. I know there's a whole big debate, about the flat Earth, globe deniers, but I don't want to get into that. In my perception, whenever I say flat Earth, I don't relate to the physical term. I relate to the spiritual side of it. Okay, to the meaning side of society, of humans, how they should be looking in this world. Okay, or how God intended for us to be like that. Anyway, so let's get back to astrology a little bit. I think that it's kind of like the same in the way that we're thinking about astrology, the same way that we are looking at flat Earth, or how we try to describe this flat Earth. Anyone can look and define his own things by the way that but by his perception, by his perspective. And I think this is the way that I operated. I kind of like taught myself out of like observation, out of for other people and so on. I think that this is pretty much what is anticipating for us. What I'm gonna do over here, Rox, can you switch over to the astrological map I have? Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, my darling.
Sure. So in the session I'm going to give to you guys, I'm going to talk about the different connection between the signs. For instance, about the elements. Okay, you can clearly see there's like a fire, Esh. Yeah, Esh element. We got the earth, Adama. We got the air, the water, and we got the air, Avir, and we got the water, Mayim, of course. So we got like the elements that we divide all the signs, and we got all kinds of other ways to look at this zodiac. We can look at it as a circle of man's life, and we can look at it as all kinds of like signs which are like in front of each other, and they have like this certain things which are like in common. So this is what I'm gonna do. Hopefully you like it, and we'll have a good time.
Yay! Sorry, I'm just coughing there in the background. Thank you, my darling. We will. We're gonna get stuck right into it, and it's something I've been interested in for a while. And as I said, we want to do it in the extra one so that we have everyone's attention and that everyone can pay attention and not be too distracted by everything else. What is that you've got there?
Oh, I got a fly bat or something like that, but I kind of like told myself that I will need like a pointer, a laser pointer or something like that. So I will just use this one because you can purchase it right now. So it kind of like extended, and I can instruct with this one and can fly. Flies.
If you're going to be pointing to things on a board, you have to have some sort of pointer. So bravo for your ingenuity, sir.
Good. So guys, I'm really anticipating.
Really work, it's the really work extra. Really work on the really work show. Yo, really work extra. Really work with me on a really work show. It's here with me on a really work show.
Hello and welcome to the Really Woke Show Extra with myself, Roxanne the Globalist Denier, and 007, and our first Really Woke Extra guest, Mr. Near from Esh Radio. That's right, I said Esh Radio, not Esh News. Esh Radio.
Near Shoshani.
00, my brother, big hugs to you for the first Really Woke Show Extra. This is exciting. This is like a whole new segment we're doing here, man. It's cool, isn't it?
Couple of weeks now, isn't it? So yeah, it's
exciting.
Kick it off.
Well, cheers, broski. Here's
Cheers.
to our first Really Woke Show Extra. I think we should definitely cheers it. I got mediocre warm tea.
Yeah. That's my company logo over here. Publicity for free. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Cheers.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us, my darling. You've been talking about doing this for a while. You've come onto the show. You've given our viewers a little bit of a taster of what's to come with this. So mine and Double's ears are open. This is something that we're both interested in, and we're pretty sure some of the viewers are interested in this as well. So please take us through this.
Yeah, sure. I will.
We can call it a talk, not a lecture, because you're not so much lecturing us. You're talking.
No. I'm talking to you. I'm explaining to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Use which kind of like verb you want to, but I'm like I'm here with talk with friends about astrology, and this kind of like session I giving to people in my living room usually when they come up and they look at this puzzle over here, and so I tell them, yeah, I have a lecture on astrology and I can give it to you now. Oh yeah. So I kind of like feel the same way as I'm in my living room, with you guys. I think this lecture I'm giving it for like about 15 years already, and as I told you, the involvement with astrology for me came with just exploring and watching people. I haven't read almost any book of astrology. I read, in the newspaper you have the weekly astrology, but it's really something that I'm not really believing it. It's something which is about the future, and it considers some kind of like a sorcery in my eyes. Okay, not really astrology. And I think that astrology is, in the basic of all thing, is a reflection of reality. Okay, like we have on the media, like we have science, like we have education, like you have religion. Astrology is a reflection of reality, and it's not a religion. Okay, it's not that we're having this pyramid structure of people or like leaders who mostly believe in astrology and we should follow their words. No, it's for me it was a personal journey, okay, of like exploring what is astrology out of my observations, out of like looking at people, seeing what people are with the same signs are the same in different characters or nature or whatever. With that, I kind of like did the puzzles in my head. Whenever you like walking the street or doing nothing, you just doing all kinds of like game thoughts with your minds, with numbers or whatever. I did that with astrology. So I observed people and their signs, and I found lots and lots of connections. And on top of that, when I got into all this information about different people, I kind of like also checked out the zodiac and tried to look at it in a different way, okay? Because you can look at it in all sorts of different connections between different signs. And I will tell you in which way I will give now the lecture about in which way I will give you the information about the different signs, and in which which method I'm looking at it at this zodiac. Now we will begin, okay, and we'll begin with the first sign, and this is my first explanation on how this zodiac actually works. If you look at it, this is the Aries sign, which is in the month of April, which is today. Okay, which is the first sign, and it's a good thing to give this lecture on April, because this is like the new year of astrology. Okay, and it also was in ancient times. It was also like the new year. Okay, now time in the spring was the original new year. Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, that's what Adam Meakin has talked about when he said the first full moon
Yeah.
in April is the new year. So yeah, it's a
But
druid thing, isn't it?
and also like in no, it's not even a druid. Yeah, it's maybe a druid thing, because astrology is way more ancient than any kind of religion. It's based on people observing the stars, and people did that for thousands of years before they even thought about a god or like a monotheistic god or something like that. And also like we had Passover this month in Israel, and until the Israelites came into the land of Israel, it was considered the New Year. Okay, this was the official New Year in those times, and it also like, makes a lot more sense. Okay, that the year will start at the springtime and not in the fall, like in the Jewish calendar, or not in the winter, like in the Gregorian calendar. So one way to look at the zodiac, okay, is look at it as a man's circle of life, okay, and as a chronological age, meaning you are born with the Aries, okay, and as I will go through this in this order, okay, in this order, it's like against the way of the clock, okay, we will see that this is like the sign that signifies birth, and this one signifies death, okay, and all in the middle are different phases in man's life, and I will specify them by age, okay? So if we begin with the Aries, this is the baby's sign, okay? Now, and one other thing that I will go through while I'm explaining that is about the elements, okay? The elements. So Aries sign, the first sign, is a fire sign, okay? Now I have a question for you guys. Whenever there is a family dinner, someone just walks in with a baby into the room. What is going on in the room? Exactly. Everyone is like, whoa, on the baby is like taking the center of all attention. And this is the Aries, okay? He's like no, and also like the fire signs are known to have special charisma, special energies, special. The outside look of them is really usually impressive, and the Aries signs are mainly with kind of like bursting energies, okay, of a baby, and and the main focus that the Aries has is about creativity and art, okay. Now this thing I call a theme, okay, something that I kind of like developed, okay. This is a relation that got with one sign to his counter sign, okay? In that case, Aries is in front of the Libra. Now, their theme, okay, is creativity and art, okay? Creativity and art. But they both like represent different sides of the same thing, okay? Meaning, the art and the creativity of the Aries is very eruptive, is very observant, and the creativity of the Libra is very harmonic, chilled, balanced, okay? They both are good, okay? But there's no like good and evil in good and bad in astrology. But this is how the Aries is. I truly like learned a lot from Aries in my lifetime. All my good friends, including my ex-wife, were Aries actually. It kind of like also works out pretty good in relationship when you have like counter signs, okay? When someone is like in front of each other, they are like they understand each other, they understand the communication, and they kind of like tolerant to each other's negative side, and they kind of like appreciate that because they are like involved in the same topic. Yes, Richie?
you think that's where the expression opposites attract comes from?
Yeah. Exactly. This is
We've all confused it, and we think that it means that if you're completely opposite personalities,
yeah.
or opposites attract. So that's what a lot of people think in that sense, but it's actually it's the star sign.
Yeah. And yeah, this is what happened. I guess this was my fault. What I got married with my ex-wife. She actually had a birth.
I've had a couple of relationships with Aries.
Yeah, she had a birthday actually this week, and she's the one who bought me this puzzle. Yeah, we'll get my Mazal Tov and congratulations to her. Although she made my life a living hell, but yeah, let's go on. All right, so Aries sign.
You know the ones. Love you.
So Aries sign, I told you it's a baby sign. Usually people who are very involved with drama, with theater, with big, also like with politics, with places that you need pretty much of like to be observant, to be charismatic, to be creative. Okay, and with the best example that we got for the Aries sign. Yeah, we got Hitler. Hitler was an Aries sign.
I was going to say my mother.
No, your mother.
My mum's an Aries. My mum's an Aries.
So yeah, Hitler. Hitler was an Aries. And it's kind of like it can explain to you how much effect that he had, and how much people gather walked after him, although he's like crazy ideas and everything, and it explains a lot this thing. So as I told you, baby sign, we go forward to the Taurus. Okay, Taurus is like the child sign. Let's say between like 5 and 10. Okay, children between 5 and 10. Now this is an earth sign, okay, earth sign. Earth sign are in charge on work and accomplishment and physical things, okay. What is the exact word? Yeah, about work, about good deeds, good work being done. What is the exact word that I'm looking for? But never mind. Okay, sorry.
Perfectionist.
Pretty much. Perfectionist with everything that revolves around work, okay? Around things which revolve around money and assets and materialize, okay? Now, if you look at children, okay, age 5 to 10, all you can see that they are very concerned about their personal belongings, about their things that they possess, and they are really interested only in their physical. In the physical pleasure of them, okay? For instance, in the Greek mythology, the Taurus, we're talking about the month of May, this was the month of Dionysus. Dionysus was the god of wine in Greek mythology, and Dionysus, kind of like his celebration was a big celebrations of wines and orgies and festivals and whatever, and so people of the Taurus sign kind of like appreciate everything which is kind of like physical. They enjoy good food, but when I'm saying enjoy, they enjoy it. Okay, they will come to you and tell you, "Oh, I have this good steak, and it bled, and I felt so alive when I ate it." Okay, or something. I have a funny story about a friend of mine. He's a Taurus sign, and he told me he was quite familiar with astrology, and he told me one day, I don't want to be a Taurus sign. I want to be a Leo sign. So I will change my fate, and I will introduce myself as a Leo sign. All right. And then a week afterwards, he came to me and he showed me a ring that he bought. Okay, and he told me, okay, this ring is an Aries sign ring. I wear it now, so I became an Aries. I told him, okay, you now took like a material thing, the most material thing, like a ring, that and you choose that to indicate that you changed a sign. It's kind of like putting yourself into this your own trap. Okay, because you kind of like relying on your physical, on your possessions in order to say that you changed your personality. Okay, but this is the way terraces see the world. They're known to be pretty much stubborn. Okay. Very beautiful people usually, okay, very beautiful with their body. Usually their body are really impressive, and yeah, and earth sign, as I told you. If you will, I don't know, imagine which kind of earth it is. Okay, this is like a wet soil where, like the mud that the terrorist is like stepping on. Okay, it's like a fertile soil. This is the image. Okay, let's go forward to Gemini. Gemini, I will take a sip first because it's very important. Gemini. Yeah, Gemini is an air sign. Okay, an air sign, and all of us here in the broadcast, we are air signs, right? We got Roxanne, Aquarius, that we'll get to her, and we got Richie over here, that is a Libra. And Aries and the air signs are signed here with the blue. Okay, the blue ones. And as you will see over here with the Gemini, he's like observing into the male is like observing to one side and the female into other side, and it kind of like goes attract from the same body. Okay, now most of the people will, when they mention them Gemini side, will say them, oh, they're crazy. Okay, they're crazy. They're unpredictable. There are all sorts of things which are sorry.
Split personality.
Split personality, yeah. But I found it very, very wrong. Okay, very wrong. Actually, my girlfriend now is a Gemini sign, and my partner in business, Asi, is a Gemini sign. They are very, very attractive people to go along with. When you look at them, you kind of like see the journey that you will walk with them. Okay, the Gemini, he's like the one who's planning the journey. He's the one with the ups and downs and high and lows, but you know for yourself that when you get into trouble, you will need the Gemini by your side, because he's the one who's like know how to operate in each situation. He's got the right tool set to operate everything. Because as Gemini and as Libras and as Pisces, okay, those three considered to be double signs. Okay, double signs. Okay, what is double sign? Double is meaning that they have observation on reality, which include both sides, both good and bad. And Richie, you probably can relate with that, right? You can kind of like relate and understand and comprehend the complexity of the whole reality, okay, of all sides.
I always try and look at both sides, always consider both sides, yeah.
Yeah, and so is the Libra have this quantity, and also like the Gemini and the Pisces. Now, about the split personality of the Gemini, it's kind of like it's not a split personality. The main word that I take for the Gemini is options. Okay, options, meaning they're like observing their life. They look each one of us usually when they observing his life, and he marks himself some kind of like a target in the future. So he try to walk the path towards this target. Now the Geminis have multiple targets, okay, and they kind of like seems that think that it's reasonable to go with this in all the paths together towards all the targets in the same time, although you know sometimes it's like conflicting each other, okay, but they don't see that, and they kind of like go in a parallel ways together, okay, to reach all the goals. And in that way, people sometimes think that they are like split personality, crazy, whatever, because each time they kind of like meet the Gemini, which goes in different way. Now, the good things about the Gemini, that if you like stumble with him, if you like encounter with him and you like stumble with him in one path, okay, you can tell yourself, okay, I won't go with him in this path, I will go to another path of him, and you'll see that this one is like really clear, and you can like go along with him in this path. So they're very charming creatures, and we actually got lots of politicians, okay, the major ones, okay, which are like Geminis, and it actually can explain a lot about how they got into this position. Of course, Boris Johnson, okay, Gemini sign. And, and Donald Trump is a Gemini sign on the 14th of June. And JFK was a Gemini sign as well. Yeah.
Funny these coincidences, aren't
Yes.
they? What a coincidence. What
Yeah.
a coincidence.
No, but
Funny old
both.
coincidence that is, Double.
I mean, I've always when I've met people, when I've met new people, and especially when I've made connections with new people, it's always the same. I can, when they tell me, when I find out what their star sign is, I'm never really surprised by it. You know, when they say, "Yeah, I'm a Libra," I'm like, "Do you know what? I knew you were Libra. I knew you were either Virgo, Libra, or Leo, or you know, it's there's certain traits that come out of certain star signs, certain astrological star signs that they are right across, like particularly Leo. Leo is a very recognizable.
I'll get to, yeah.
My mum was one of
coming
those.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. So
we're gonna get there. All right. So and Gemini, if we mentioned earlier the ages, okay.
Sorry, hang on. Your mum was Leo, was she?
Yeah.
Cool.
My mom was. I will get to my mom's Aquarius, like Roxanne. Anyway, yeah, Gemini. If you mentioned earlier about the ages, okay. So most definitely, Gemini represents adolescence, teenage years, whatever. All kinds of like conflicts, all kinds of like self-definition. Okay, self-definition when you work on it. And you try to put yourself in the right place for you to be like a grown-up, okay? To prepare yourself to be a grown-up, so you're just confused about the way that you should choose. We got to the Geminis, and let's go to Cancer sign. And this with age kind of like represents, I think, the age of first love, okay? Let's say 16 to 20, something like that, okay? The age of real first love, and it's kind of like the sign of Cancer. It's related to the Greek god of Aphrodite, okay, of Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty. And if you know the story of Aphrodite, she was born out of the waves of the sea, okay? She was like the waves of the sea came along and washed the shore, and suddenly she like appeared. And also this is the place of living for the Cancer, for the animal, okay, of the Cancer. And if you see the Cancer over the shore, how it looks like? It looks like very happy. Okay, it's like tick, 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 going like on the shore. It looks very happy and very cheerful until he kind of like scared out of something, and then he gets into a shell or something like that, and he hides himself. And the moods of the Cancer sign are going exactly like the waves. Okay, like the waves of the sea. Meaning they're coming and going, and whenever the Cancer, the wave is like on, the Cancer is like happy on the beach, so it's kind of like a very nice and good place to be with him, because he makes everyone around him really like cheerful and happy and in his festive mood. But when he gets into his, kind of like somber mood, kind of like a place that he wants to be alone with his feelings, okay? This place is kind of like wants to be alone, to shutter himself and to be closed down from the world, because his feelings are so strong. He's feeling so vulnerable. Okay, so he wants to shutter himself out. Now he's actually going with the theme of we didn't get to themes, but I will get to that when we get to the other things. His theme, along with the Capricorn, is about security. Okay, about security. The Cancer sees the security in his family. Okay, in his family. The Capricorn sees security with finance, with material. Okay, and what else? Oh, and usually they are, like, again, very beautiful, but very, very beautiful in the cute way. Okay, in the cute way, and they are very have connection, the Cancer, to kind of like graphic things. Okay, to graphics. Meaning that you will, with Cancer, you'll find that you will either know how to paint, or either he got like tons of tattoos or something like that, or his face looks like a cartoon character or something like that, which is kind of like beautiful, but in the cute way. Okay, okay, and we move forward, yeah, to the Leo. Okay, if we are talking about the Leo, this is like the leader sign. Again, it's in a fire sign. Fire sign related on. I told you about the charisma and energies. Now, Leo sign, they are the kings. Okay, the king of the animal, right? Now, I kind of like related that to the ages of something in between 25 till 30. This is the ages that usually make your important decisions about your career, about your position with like further on in life. And the Leo, he's the king. He was born the king. Okay. Now, when you encounter a lion, you have like two options. It's like you coming to a king, okay? You're coming to a king's palace, okay? And you're facing in front of the king, and the king tells you, bow down, right? Bow down, give me respect. So you got two options. You got one is to say, who the hell are you, okay? You're not my king. I'm not giving any respect for you. This is one option. Second option is that you'll bow down and say, yes, my king, I will give you all the respect that you want. If you choose option A, okay, then you'll be off of your head, right? It will cut your head immediately. And if you choose option 2, this king will grant you to be you will be his minister. You'll be the guy beside him. You will gain all the goods out of his majesty. And I think this is the wise thing to do, okay? Because you shouldn't be objective to the king in front of his eyes, okay? He sees that as a lack of respect, and he's kind of like in front of the Aquarius, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is it sets on the theme of egoism and altruism, okay? You know, altruism like to give to your fellow man, to care more about your fellow man than you are. And egoism is all about his respect, okay? Now, there's no good and bad, right?
Hold on. Let me just mute. Yeah, it's all right. I'll mute it for a second. Hold on. It's cool. Go on, carry on, bro. It's all right.
Yeah,
go on.
Good.
Go on then.
Yeah, so we talked about the Aries, right? Yeah, Aries. So not Aries, sorry, the Leo.
Leo.
Yeah, the Leo sign.
Leo.
Yeah. So with the Leo sign, as I told you, very observant people. Okay, very, but in a good way. If we check the fire of the Aries is an eruptive one, the one of the Leo is like a bonfire, a good bonfire, something which is really heating and or fireplace or something like that, which is stable and you can rely on, and it's a good fire. For instance, we got Barack Obama, Leo sign, okay? Barack Obama, Leo sign, and lots of other, I think Madonna was also Leo sign. Anyway, so let's move forward into yeah.
Before we do, we've been going for about 29 minutes, so we're just going to cut for a break now, sure. And then we'll be straight back. Welcome back to part
2 of the Really Woke Show Extra with myself, 007, and our awesome guest for the first Really Woke Show Extra is Near from Esh Radio, as you just heard there, Esh Radio. So get to know, tell a friend to tell a friend, sub, tell a friend to sub, get all involved in that channel. Near, thank you, my darling.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't mentioned before, like we are recording this this session, and I will be replying any kind of like questions that will pop up in the chat room. I'll be happy to reply while you are broadcasting it. So hopefully,
So all of you in the chat room, make sure you get your questions to Near, as he's more than happy to answer your questions as we go along this show.
Good. So we stopped, I think, at Virgo sign, okay, over here at the bottom. And Virgo sign is an earth sign, as I told you, very practical, very like know how to work. And kind of like when you talk about the Virgo, if you look at his counter sign, the Pisces, there are kind of like theme is unity versus multiply, okay, versus quantity, whatever. Virgo is about the unity, it's about the one, okay. It kind of like represents, as you can see over here, the lady of a lady that already have like children, okay, something, a lady in her 30s, something like that, and it kind of like represents the archetype of. There are two types of like women archetypes in culture. They're the one which is like the mother, okay, which is kind of like Eve in the Bible, which is like the mother that takes care of her children, that takes care of her family. And on the other side, you got like the femme fatale, okay, the femme fatale, the evil woman, the one who wants to seduce you. We will get to that pretty much soon. But in this one, the Virgo kind of like represents the perfection, okay, the perfection, the ambition to get into perfection, and to some kind of like unity. For instance, we got if you look at the Virgo, if you look at their physical body, okay, usually I kind of like notice that they are either extremely thin or extremely fat, okay, going to extremes in this way. And in all sorts of other things, they looking for like the perfect thing, okay, the whole package. As an earth sign, as I told you, it's kind of like hard for them to be lifted out of the ground, okay, to get them into I know all kind of like abstract ideas. And I had a girlfriend once, was a Virgo sign, and the thing that I got mad from her is that she didn't like any type of music. I told myself, what the hell? What kind of a person are you that you don't like any kind of
music?
Yeah, you know.
So,
So this is kind of like the thing that I couldn't manage with, and this is basically for the Virgo, because I want to get into the most important sign ever, Libra. Okay. Yes, and this is the most important sign ever because I'm in it, and it's also double O over here. I even
I'm on the cusp of Virgo and Libra. I'm more Libra. I'm on the cusp, so there is some of the Virgo that I've.
The one that are on the cast, they are like they got like a mix of both sides that are like on the border of, and yeah, and you are also. You don't remember I told you earlier about the Libras being thin, yeah, being thin and being like not the Virgo being thin, and Richie has also that creativity and all the other things that the Libra possess. And I actually very in love with my sign, okay, because it actually represents the age of 40, the middle of life, okay, which I'm like now 40 years old. So I kind of like feel that this is the time for me to shine. And the Libras, as I told you, they are in front of the Aries from the beginning, and they are like talking about creativity and about creation. Now, in all the signs over here, usually you can see kind of like an animal or a person, someone who's like attached to it. With the Libras, in this one, I don't think that you see it over here. You can see that over here you see the Libra. I don't know, they picked up a female character and they put a band on their eyes. Okay, that she's. So either they kind of like try to hide their humanity or something like that. Usually the Libra always appears just as the scales, okay, not with human. But it's actually a nice picture because she's kind of like without seeing, she kind of like knows that it's balanced, okay. And this is the inner feeling, okay, the inner feeling of the Libras, okay, that they can sense when the energies are balanced, okay. Now, and balance meaning that usually also in their own body, okay, and in social encounters and all kinds of like other situation in life that it looks a little bit unbalanced. The Libra, his job is to come and to balance it into the other side. Usually people are pretty pissed off on Libras because they always take the other side of what the person which is coming to you is saying, okay. Yeah, well familiar, right? Well familiar, Richie. And this is because usually this is the instinct of the Libra to try to balance things from the other side. And he knows how to do that with like socially. If someone is I know taking himself too much like highly and starting to trashing about other guy or something like that, so the Libra will pop in and try to lower down that guy and to raise up the other guy. And this kind of like tool of the balance is only a tool, okay? Because the real purpose of the Libra is something higher than that, okay? Is higher than balance, and this is the word that kind of like the Libra carries it around, and this is like his life ambition, which is harmony, okay? Harmony. The Libra knows to define for himself what harmony is, what is the most harmonic situation, and he knows how to use the tool of balance in order to reach to that situation. Usually the Libras are very nice people, okay? They are very charismatic, and their most lethal weapon that they have, okay, is their smile. Yeah, their smile. It can do wonders. Yeah. The Libra smile, it can buy you the world, okay? Seriously. And I think that he uses this smile and this balance tool in the most, sometimes he can use it in the most devilish ways, okay? In the most, I know, scamic way, in the most, he knows how to do like terrific tricks in order to get into that balance, okay? It could be also like a nasty tricks, but he knows how to do that in order to get to the balance in his perspective. Usually, lots of like lawyers are involved with being Libras. Also, lots of like creative people, and also in politics, especially in Israeli politics, almost all the prime ministers were Libra signs, including Benjamin Netanyahu. And including David Ben-Gurion, the one who established the first prime minister of Israel, and all sorts of others. We had in total something like I think 12 or 13 prime ministers, and I think something like 8 or 9 of them were Libra signs. So it's a sign that can very communicate well. I haven't mentioned that before. The air signs, okay, the air signs, the Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, that we'll soon get to, they are in charge of communication and knowledge, okay? We are living in the air realm, okay? We are dealing also, like you see for yourself, we are dealing also with our professions in things that are related to communication, into knowledge, into things that need to be transferred to other people, things that need to be with communication and with partnership with other people in order to exist. And in order to have this, you need to disconnect yourself from the ground and be air and fluent all the way, okay? In order to accomplish this thing. And this is what Richie is doing with his performances. He's communicating with his crowd. This is what I'm doing with my translation company, okay? I try to communicate these words into different languages, and I will soon get to you, Roxanne, with Of course, what you do over here in the Really Walk Show and in all your past, this is also very, very earth sign kind of like typical thing. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think that's what, because I know that Rox used to work in construction, and I bet I know the type of person that Rox is, so I know that one of the reasons that she would have been loved in that job was her communication between all levels.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't do like the work of like carrying bricks and and put it
Yeah,
on.
no,
You
she would
used to
have.
communicate, of course. Yeah.
She would have. Yeah, she would have known the contractors individually by name, and she would have, everybody on site. She would have known by name, and not, and been interested in their lives and actually engaged with them. So it would have tied that. She would have been like a glue. I know she would have been like. That's why she was so valued in her profession.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Okay, so we talked about the Libra sign. As I told you, it's in the middle of our zodiac, okay? And it's a double sign, okay? Meaning it looks at both sides of reality. And, oh, yeah, and I will do a little bit of a striptease over here. Yeah, my Libra sign tattoo. Yeah, I'm that much of a Libra fanatic. Anyway, let's go forward. After I'll button myself. Yeah. Okay. I told you, I usually become like throughout the lecture, I'm becoming more and more inappropriate. Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay, so we are moving forward to this Scorpio sign. Okay, in the month of November. Probably kind of like represents the ages of 45 or so with lots of knowledge, because you see the Scorpion over here is sitting on this guy's head.
When does Scorpio end? What date does Scorpio end?
Like 21, 22 of November.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I told you before that the Virgo kind of represents the mother archetype of women. The Scorpio kind of represents the femme fatale. Okay. Kind of like the devilish character that kind of like seduces the man, because I think the most important word with Scorpion, and it's also like in front of the terrors that we talked before. Okay, it's about depth. Okay, depth. With the terrors, it was like with material depth. Okay, he wants to go inside the material and enjoys the material. With the Scorpio, water signs are about feelings and inner world. So they're going depth with their feelings. And if we try to think about what kind of water we said about the Cancer, this is like the waves of the sea, okay? So when we talk about the Scorpions, this is deep, deep ocean, deep ocean, okay? I find these signs amazing, okay, amazing. Usually when you encounter him, you encounter a really, really smart person. When he knows so many about so many things.
My dad's a Scorpio.
Yeah, he knows so many, he has so many knowledge that he brought with him to the world, okay, that you kind of like, when you're like in a social thing with him and he kind of like blurbs out all kinds of like information, you like, look at him, what? How did he do that? How did he do that? It looks like unnatural to you, okay, that someone would be so much like into details with anything. Yeah.
My dad's a Scorpio as well.
Scorpio, okay. Oh, Hillary Clinton, Scorpio. Joe Biden, Scorpio. Yeah, liberals. Anyway, Scorpios, as I told you, the depth in them is amazing. And when I talked about the femme fatale, usually the Scorpio is really considered a sexual sign, okay? A sexual sign that kind of like it takes you to I know, sexual adventure and sexual, because sex is a deep thing, okay? It's a deep thing. It's a thing that you can explore and go further on. And this is and if you take the Scorpio with you, it can be, I don't know, the biggest thrill of your life, but the biggest death of your life, okay? This is kind of like the risk that you're taking, okay? Yeah, so Scorpions. Yeah, we are going forward to the Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius
Cool.
sign. They are like in front of the Gemini. Okay, now if you talk about the Gemini, which is kind of like the split way and all the ways together that he observes, the Sagittarius is exactly the opposite. He only targets the target. Okay, he only sees the target. He has this error, and if he finds this right target, okay, and if he looks at it only on this target, he will aim and he will shoot right in the middle, okay? Because and the thing is that they are not really sure all the time what is the right target. So someone with Sagittarius sign is good to have someone aside him to instruct him. But once he like instructing him, he can just fire the arrow, right, shoot, and boom. For instance, I got like my the main guy that works in my company, the main translator that works in my company is a Sagittarius sign, and I'm like feeling a really good that we have a really good cooperation. That I'm like giving him the work. I'm telling him, okay, do that. Oh, you need me to do that? Like in an instant, he's doing that and he's doing that really quickly and efficiently and like right on the mark. And the thing is that they have like a really good sense of humor because I think that they are like looking for the target their entire life, and with them nothing when they're like seeing the different targets that are in front of them, they feel like awkward. Okay, they feel like a little bit strange, and out of that comes like a kind of like a sense of humor that usually kind of like I know on themselves. Okay, they're kind of like they're aware of their conflicts in life. Okay, and they're aware that they need this target, and they wish for someone to show them the target. And I think that they are also very very adorable people. I told you, fire signs. Let's move forward.
What are they like with but far as
Age.
personal relationships are concerned, Sagittarius?
I'll tell you about personal relationship, like with other people. I think that it's pretty much dependent on the element. Okay, I think that it's pretty much dependent on the element, and also like I think that when you see a person on the first time, okay, you can't know his sign, but you can certainly know the element, okay, of where he comes from. For instance, you're coming into a person's house, or you can instantly see what is like is try to make it observable for you. Meaning, either he shows you his bookcase, or when it's an earth sign, or he shows you his I don't know, new TV, which will be a fire sign, or all kinds of things like that. About Sagittarius and relationship. As I told you, the thing about the elements that usually the fire signs mix a lot better with air, okay, because air is the one who feeds fire, okay, and water is very.
My
Sorry?
best relationship was with a Sagittarius.
Yes, and of course, and earth signs are usually go better with water signs, okay, because they are living in the same environment, okay. Earth and air signs won't mix, okay? It won't mix, it won't work out. And both like fire and water. Makes sense, right? These are the exact opposites. So, yeah, Sagittarius, and let's move forward
Cool.
to the Capricorn. Capricorn concept represents, let's say, our parents, okay? People who are like 60 years old or something like that, or let's say our parents when we were 25, 30, okay? They are like really concerned about what you're gonna do in your life and when you're gonna get money from and all of that. Sagittarius are like, if you compare it to like physical thing, I think, and if you told that this is like, the Taurus is the mud, and I think that the Virgo is like a sand of the sea, okay? A sea sand. The Capricorn is kind of like a hard rock, like a rock or like cliffs, okay? Real stumble things and real hard ones. I find it very personally, because I told you I'm an earth sign, I find it very, very hard to manage with these signs, okay? Usually with the sign of Capricorn, usually I find them very hard to connect. They they're kind of like creepy in all sorts of ways, okay? I have these creepy sides inside, the kind of like dark thing that you don't really understand. But they are very efficient with everything regarding work, with accomplishing thing, with doing thing. And this is kind of like, and they are most worried about money, about how they're going to look like, and whether or not they're going to have money. With it's kind of like different with guys and girls in Capricorn. With girls, usually they are take more the flashy side of money, okay, and they look to work in all kinds of places which are luxurious, to wear like beautiful clothes, things like that. With the guys, it's kind of like they take it more to the gray area, kind of like I don't know, small guys that are doing efficient work and you don't hear about them too much, and kind of like look weird to you.
Clerics.
But clerics, yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go to Aquarius. Second best sign. Anyway, no, it's the best sign, Aquarius. Aquarius is it's also an earth sign, and this is the sign of the old wise man. Okay, the old wise man that he actually in the point before death. Okay, it's like he knows already what happened in all the life. Okay, he knows all the knowledge that already been in all his life, and he's like came into the world with lots of like knowledge, but not knowledge of like details like the scorpion, but more like how to operate life, what is the right decisions to do in life. And when you see the Aquarius, you can see this vase or this bucket or whatever that is usually being symbolized, it always pours down, okay? You always see the water or whatever, it's like stars, whatever, it always pours down. And this is, I think, the main thing with the Aquarius, it always takes down from himself, okay, from himself to the other people, to the company, to the society, okay? Usually stands have these ideological ideas, usually like social ideas, which are kind of like, if we talk about the earth signs, this is like a very strong wing that goes into one direction, one specific direction, and you can clearly see which direction it is. Aquariuses, they are in charge of, they are a very specific, very special thing with language, okay? The language, they understand what language is. And when I say language, I'm talking about communication. Usually they are involved in things which are like some type of languages. I saw lots of people who are dealing with computer science, okay, with computer science who are Aquariuses. My mother, she's Aquarius. She do like logic puzzles, and all her life she's doing like logic puzzles and find these amazing answers that I couldn't like think of, because she like know how to analyze the language in particular. And as I told you, I kind of like I had this really strange feeling every time that I'm getting to meet an Aquarius in my life, because I'm feeling like the most impact women in my life were Aquarius signs. But my mother, of course, I had a girlfriend for lots of time. And yeah, I met Roxanne, and I instantly recognized her as a Aquarius sign with all her good qualities. And yeah, listen to the Aquarius sign. They got like good advices. They usually for you, okay? When they talk to you, they usually on your side. And this is the thing that I noticed about Roxanne for the first broadcast that we did with her, that she always lifts you up, okay? Lifts you up from where you are to be higher from in your position, okay? And this is like, and this is the wind, this is the air, okay? This is the breath of fresh air that lifts you up, and it comes from. And you're feeling that it's come from a well experience, something that is well formed in this world already, that is like old and old in a good way, okay? Yeah, and we will finalize this zodiac with the Pisces. Pisces, it's like the moment before you die. You always say that you see your life flash before your eyes, okay? You see all that you've been through. This is the Pisces. You got one fish over here looking that way, one fish over here looking that way, okay? And you kind of like include everything together. When we talked about the water signs, we talk about feelings and inner world, and they are the ones who kind of like relate with their feelings to all the other signs. And this makes them very comfortable and very easy up. And when you kind of like start to interact with the Pisces, you're feeling that your conversation goes right quickly into the feelings mode, into the inner world mode. This is what you're talking about. This is what matters, because he wants to know you, because he can relate to you in each kind of level. The Pisces, usually very happy ones, okay, very happy characters, but they have this kind of like gloom in their eyes, okay, they have something in their eyes which are kind of like, I don't want to say death-like, but kind of like have these deep eyes. Usually, there's a very important, very known sentence: there are a lot of fish in the sea, right? Each Pisces, if you look at it closely, you will see that his face resembles some kind of fish. Yeah, interesting, right? For instance, I will take out of memory Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was a Pisces, okay? And you can kind of like resemble him to some kind of a fish, right? Yeah. Okay, good.
A clownfish, maybe.
I was thinking maybe a clownfish.
Maybe a clownfish. Yeah. What kind of thing? You kind of like see this person, and you can identify some kind of like a fish that resembles him in kind of like a mystical way. All right. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty much it, and we got into all of the signs. What else would I need to tell you about the zodiac? That also we got I will just go briefly about all the divisions that we kind of like mentioned in this show, about the elements, of course, okay, about the counter signs, okay, about all kinds of like, of course, this circle of life of man, all the visual images that I gave you of what kind of like fire, what kind of like water. There's also another division that you can make with qualities, which is it kind of like divides you can divide it into 3 different qualities, the 12 signs. I'll go to it very briefly. There are like three qualities: multiple, fixed, and cardinal. Cardinal are the signs of the Libras and the Aries. It always goes like with a cross. Okay, you got the Libras and the Aries, and the Cancer and the Capricorn. These are the signs are more like initiative. Okay, initiative in reality, create things in reality. You have the fixed signs. Okay, fixed. It's the Taurus and the Scorpion and Leo and the Aquarius. Those are like the fixed sign. They are like they are supposed to keep things in their fluent stream, in their natural streaming. Okay, and the multiple, they are of course the Geminis and versus the Sagittarius, and the Pisces versus the Virgo. Those are the ones who are in charge of changing the reality, okay, of changing the course of things, of creating the reality out of like the changes, the adjustments that needs to be made. So as you can see, there's all sorts of ways to look at the zodiac, and I'm hoping that that you got this information out of me. I will just say the final message for me with this session is about the purpose of astrology. And for me in particular, I kind of like, I'm in end of every session, I'm telling this message because I think it's critical and important. Don't use the astrology for the needs of your own ego. And with me saying that, I'm meaning that you shouldn't like come to a person and ask him, what your sign is, and with knowing that, you will go and manipulate him and know how to work with him and know all things about him that will just assist your ego and not will contribute anything. No, don't use astrology for that, okay? Use astrology in order to understand people, in order to be compassionate, in order to be, whenever you see someone who's acting unreasonably, doing something which is not clear to you, you can say to yourself, okay, he's that and that sign, maybe that's what moves him, this is what kind of like operates him. and we can be understandable and compassionate about it. So this is like the message. And earlier, before the broadcast, I kind of like handed you your astrological charts, okay, and for you and Richie. I want to explain a little bit just about all the things that I told right now. It's not like that we have 12 kind of people in the world, okay? Your kind of like personality, kind of like being constructed out of the entire map of stars, which are located in the moment you were born. Where the sun was located, where you were born, this is what your sign is. This is what your sign is. But in addition to the sun, you got the moon in another sign, and you got like all kinds of like other planets in other signs, and the effects that each star or each like the moon or horizon or something like that take out of the sign, it being compiled into your personality as well. Okay, so each of us is like a big soup of all kinds of signs. Okay, and so your entire personality is being constructed by all sorts of elements and all sorts of things. For me personally, my map is not including almost any earth signs. Okay, well, almost all of the stars like in the earth sign, in the air realm, and I can analyze yours and Richie as well pretty soon, and tell you pretty much what kind of like effects do you have with each sign that in the zodiac. And it's very kind of, and if you just look at the sun and the sun sign, at the sun where the sun was, where the sun where you were born, it kind of like tells you I don't know, the ambitions of a man, of each man. Okay, and with this ambition, it's kind of like all his actions are coming out from. So this is the end of the astrology session for the Really Woke Show Extra. Thank you very much. Man. Thank you very much. Hopefully that you enjoy it. I enjoyed putting it to you guys because, as I told you before, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It matters the crowd and how much I'm like enjoying the crowd. So this is how I will do it.
Big time.
It's good, man.
So
it was
much,
good.
Nick.
I enjoyed it.
Me too. Me too, Double. That was really, really good. And we hope that you watching enjoyed that. If you've got any questions for Nir, please don't hesitate to get in contact. We're going to share his channel link in the chat room and the description, and for all the ways you can get hold of Esh Radio. Yeah, thank you so much. And to all of you for tuning in and watching this as well. We hope you've enjoyed it. This has been the first edition of the Really Woke Show Extra. Extra. Be all about it. All right, my darlings, until next time, we shall see you soon.
Really woke. It's the Really Woke Extra. Really woke on the Really Woke Show. Yo, Really Woke Extra. Really woke, with me on a Really Woke Show. It's here.